So we're heading away from Portofino, was named by the Romans, who came all the way through here, obviously. Think about when Jesus was alive and the Romans came through and occupied so much of the land. Of course, this is Italy. And the Romans were here and they called it Portofino, or Port of the Dolphin, because of the rapid, or the many, many dolphins that used to be sighted. Perhaps they are still sighted today, but I just thought it would be nice to come on live and just show a little bit of it as we catch the ferry back to Santa Margherita. But this is all part of the Italian Riviera, which, where Andrew and I live in Melbourne, Australia, the area that we are is actually named and established after this strip of coastline. So it's really quite beautiful. But you think about our heritage. Our heritage matters. The stories that we tell each other, the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we pass on to others, that's what we carry forward. And of course our story with Jesus, is his story through history. His story is our testimony of the goodness of God. We need to remember our stories. We need to remember his story, our story with Jesus, and then repeat it over and over and over again. Because our story with Jesus is the only thing that we can leave behind after we've long gone. Our testimony or our story is something that can be used as a weapon of warfare, remembering that we overcome the enemy with the testimony, with our testimony, and of course with the blood of the Lamb, and that we don't love our lives unto death. So our history, like the history of Portofino, named by the Romans, meaning Port of the Dolphins, our history is so important. So I just want to encourage you, something that I'm really passionate about is telling our story of the goodness of Jesus in our life and in the lives of those around us. The good, the bad and the ugly, where he comes through and he gives us a kiss, like the story that I recently repeated in a post just recently, where someone completely randomly heard the words, "I am God's happy place." They're from Iceland, of all places. Think of Iceland as compared to where Australia is. And they heard the term, "I am God's happy place." And it took them a few days to work out it was my book, and that God was telling them about my book. So they bought it and they've read it, and they are now letting people know that they could feel the presence of the Holy Spirit throughout the book. And I believe that the reason why they can feel the presence of the Holy Spirit throughout my book is because I tell this testimony of Jesus in my life. Simple stories of me living in my neighbourhood, stopping for the one, hearing from God for myself and for others, releasing the kiss of heaven as I go. That's what we are all called to do. It's a life that we are all called for, to be releasing the kiss of heaven everywhere we go, and then telling of the goodness of God in our lives to others. Because this is the way that the knowledge of the goodness, the knowledge of the glory of the Lord will cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Anyway, enough from me. I will leave you to it. I just thought it would be fun to show you Portofino. So we're waving goodbye to Portofino and heading back to where we're staying in Santa Margherita.